Hello, welcome to another episode of This is Australia. In this episode, we're going to just bring you some stories from the booming property market of Sydney, and also we're going to look at some construction problems that we encountered and we had some complaints about, so we went over to have a look. But before we start, I think we should just talk about water, because everything we do, water is the worst enemy of any building. The water is the worst enemy. And we're here at a friend's place at the moment, and we actually have a lot of mosquitoes in this area in here. And you know why? Because of this. Now, the water hasn't been changed here for some time. It's a good idea to actually change the water quite often on these things here. But if you don't, maybe you should use what we used to do at my farm where I grew up in Corfu. Over there at the farm where I grew up before I came to Australia, we used to reuse and recycle just about anything because of necessity. I don't think that they were thinking about the environment so much as they pocket, and that's a good way to reuse and recycle. It was mostly reuse. Now, I remember we had lots of tanks for the grey water and all the water that we watered in the plants, and used to just put a little bit of old olive oil on top of the water, like I did in here. And this way, we had no mosquitoes, because the lava inside the water cannot just get up to the surface to breathe, to get oxygen. And of course, the female mosquitoes that they're going to hatch the eggs, if they go in here, of course, they'll get stuck because of the olive oil. Or in this particular case, I just used some vegetable oil. You wouldn't believe it. Within 5 minutes, all the mosquitoes were gone. All the lava was dead. This was just full of lava. And this is a good way to get rid of mosquitoes. Some of the images you're gonna see next, they probably disturb you, so I think it's better if you turn off your television or change the channel. Plastic is possibly the most convenient invention, but also it's the worst pollutant all around the world. This video you can see now on your screens is probably the worst scenario I've seen, with these birds feeding on this plastic rubbish that we throw away.
Basically, the species forages by picking up a lot of scraps off the surface of the ocean, particularly, dead bits of squid, and they can't distinguish the plastic pieces.
We decided to bring him back and take a look at him because we could feel at the bottom of his abdomen here some plastic potentially through the body. So we'll open him up and take a look and see what we can find inside.
So we can see right away that there is a very significant quantity of plastic inside of this poor bird. I'm going to guess the final tally is probably well over 100 pieces of plastic in this one bird.
Now, going back to the farm, and look at this, I'm full of oil. Anyway, going back to the farm now, I remember we used to reuse it, like I said, just about anything. And I remember my mother, for example, all the old clothes, she will cut them in strips, and then she would just crochet them into mats or other useful materials. And then, of course, the plastic bags arrived, and it was a big problem, but not for my mother. And not just my mother, but a lot of people in the area, and not just in Corfu and Greece, but in many places around the world. They would still cut them in strips and then turn them into colorful mats or pillows or even shopping bags, but of course this time they were waterproof. Then my dad and my uncles would turn all the old tires into useful things like, for example, flower pots. And then we had some friends that they came up with some other ideas, and they sent us these photos. This is a solid carrying bag used for building sites or as a pot, and it's made out of old car tires. And look at this great decoration for your garden, again with car tires. And of course there's other uses of the car tires, as you can see now in the pictures. And then the plastic bottles arrived with water or soft drinks. Now, instead of this, yeah, it looks very ugly, doesn't it? Isn't it better if we just use the bottles like this? And one entry that came from some friends from Greece, I think that the Greek crisis is on. But this kind of reuse, I didn't really expect it. Now have a look at this one. Yes. Like I said, they reuse everything out of necessity, even that. Now, here in Australia, we are a throwaway society. I can see those council cleanups, and every time I drive past, I wish I had the youth so I can pick some of the stuff that they throw away. Incredible stuff. Really, really nice stuff. It's just thrown away, which is a waste. It goes to the tip and then just disappears. So one of these items that we normally throw away to the tip, which is the construction timber or the demolition timber, because of places like Metropolitan Demolitions, we reuse and recycle. Now, we took some of these timbers and we made some tables. Now, these tables can be painted with all different colors to have the kind of shabby chic look, or they can be just raw timber. And they are great for either tabletops, or you can use them as a gate. Amazing colors. And even the paints are recycled. So if you like the look of any of this, just give us a call on the number that you can see on your screen now, or email us, and we'll be happy to make something for you with the colors that you like, or just the raw timber. But it's a very good idea to reuse and recycle, making garden gates and any kind of furniture for the garden or even for the house. We make a lot of furniture for actual shops and pubs. So, a little bit of old olive oil on top of your stagnant water, it will solve your problem with the mosquitoes. Now, if you want to take out the water, of course, you can still pump it out, just the water, and the oil will stay here. Or you can just take out just the oil from the top. You can just skim just the oil from the top. But the best thing is this. Look at this. Well, AeroGuard is probably the best mosquito repellent I ever tried. And some of the mosquito repellents that we just get overseas, they're horrible. The smell, it's terrible. But the best one so far is the Australian made, Australian owned. I don't know about the own, I have to check. But this is Australian made and it's the best. So yeah, don't leave home without it. AeroGuard, the best. Next, we're going to take a look at the booming Sydney market, and we're going to give you some tips before you buy your next property. Nicole Johnson has a story.
Hello everyone, my name's Nicole Johnson and I'm a property lawyer. I will be showing you around some of the excellent development opportunities we have here in Australia. But I will also give you important tips and pitfalls you should avoid when buying property in Australia. But first, let me take you on a little tour of my piece of Australia. Now, I live on the Northern Beaches, a small part of Sydney we call Narrabeen. It's a typical part of Sydney with beautiful skyline, trees and gardens in the back. But first, let's have a look at another piece of Australia I love, my Australian car. My Australian car is made by an iconic Australian brand called Holden. Now, I love to zip the roof off. Drive along the Northern Beaches and smell the ocean. I also love to zip along down to Palm Beach where I can see the lighthouse, can do a little bit of fishing and even chuck the kids in the back of the car, go for a swim on the beach and have a nice dip in the water. Today we're off to see Elaine at Meriton, one of Australia's leading property developers for over 50 years. Meriton was established by Harry Triguboff, also known as High Rise Harry, who immigrated here to Australia from Russia.
Nicole.
You must be Elaine.
Yes, welcome to Meriton.
Thank you. I understand you're going to be showing us around some apartments today.
That's right, come up.
Thank you, fantastic.
Come through, Nicole. Have a look. This is one of our 2+30 penthouse.
Wow, what a fantastic view.
Have a look around. So what sort of person would buy a Meriton apartment?
We actually can see a device range of purchaser here. Of course, they have Australian residents here purchasing, and also we can see people from overseas, like China, Korean, Indonesia. They're buying in this area as well.
Right. Do you get a lot of investors from overseas?
Yeah, we'll have certain percentage. Yeah.
You have a certain percentage. And what about finance for investors from overseas in Australia? Can Meriton offer them something?
Meriton will have our own finance department. We can offer our purchaser very low cost fixed rates loan, fixed for 2 years, and not only just Australian resident, also overseas residents as well.
Right. And do Meriton Apartments, do they guarantee the work that they do? Good construction, good developments?
That's right. We have 50 years experience in constructing, so we're always improving, and that has been recognized here locally and even overseas.
Right. And investment, you do deal with a lot with investment. Meriton have an investment segment?
With investor, how we're looking after them, first of all, we offer them like the finance, and also we have our building manager, which basically on-site building manager looking after the property for them, looking for the tenant and maintain the property.
Right, so Meriton can maintain a property from start right to the end. So if somebody is an investor from overseas, they can get a tenant on board from the day of settlement?
That's right, we call it tenant guarantee. So we guarantee tenant on the day actually settle the property.
Right, that's fantastic. That's a great thing to offer, isn't it?
So with the investor, they have a peace of mind as soon as they purchase the property. So they have rental incomes, and also we have a building manager to looking after the property for them.
Right, so there's nothing the investor needs to really worry about except finding the right place for the right price.
That's right.
So Meriton can offer a real package for any Australian resident or an overseas investor?
That's right.
That's great. And what sort of facilities can you offer people that buy or rent an apartment?
Usually we're building the complex, we have resort-style indoor pool, spa, sauna, gym, and that's exclusive for the residents' use.
That's great. So if I want to buy an apartment here, I've really got everything at my doorstep?
That's right.
That's great. It's a great package that you offer. And how is it? Is it easy to commute in and out of the city from here?
Yes, you can see we have a train line, bus stop at the door. It's only 25 minutes to the city.
Great. And do you have schools and universities around here?
Yes, we have lots of good university. Macquarie University just nearby.
Right.
One bus stop and just go at the front of the university.
That's so convenient,
and
isn't
also
it?
lots of local schools.
That's very convenient. And local supermarkets?
Yeah, they have a Rhodes shopping centre. Also, they have the Top Right shopping centre as well nearby.
That's fantastic. Thank you, Elaine.
You're welcome.
We mentioned at the beginning about the water damage in any building. Now this is a typical example. This downpipe was blocked down the bottom there, and all the water was going under the footings. Now these footings are made out of sandstone, and while the whole house is just on a sandstone bed, this particular corner was on clay. And what happened? All the water, of course, just took all the clay out of underneath the foundations, and now we have a big problem. We fixed a problem with the water damage and the downpipe, but look at all the cracks. The whole front of the house just gone by mud. That much, if you put all these cracks together, at the top especially, you can see how the whole house is leaning forward, and that's because of water. Now, okay, we talked about the boom in the Sydney property, but unfortunately we have some pitfalls and some problems, and we're going to have a look at that now. Now look at that particular building. Could you believe that this building was 5 years old and they had to evacuate all the people from there so they can fix water leakage problems? Yes, 5 years old. And you know why? Because of waterproofing, because they didn't do the waterproofing properly. And this is what I'm saying, is that sometimes we skimp on quality, we get some imported products that are inferior quality, and then especially on waterproofing, the most important part of any building for me is waterproofing, because if something goes wrong, you have to demolish the whole thing and you have to start from scratch. Can you imagine? You're buying this beautiful apartment and suddenly you're faced with a huge bill to demolish everything and rebuild it. 5 years later, it's not right. Now look at these buildings here. All this is happening because the developers and the builders are trying to cut corners so they can make more money. It's all because of profit. But at the end, you that you're buying these properties are paying the price. So you either have to buy some quality stuff from a well-known builder and developer, like Meriton Apartments, for example, and there's a lot of others out there, but be very, very careful. Be very, very careful. Or make sure that things like the waterproofing are done properly. Now, we're gonna go and get some expert advice on waterproofing from a company that is based in Sydney, a made in Australia product, and it's called Envirosystems. Let's go and have a look. What is Envirosystems?
Envirosystems Technologies produces a number of materials for the construction industry. Originally starting out in waterproofing, we've since expanded into a variety of different products that cover the whole scope of a building project, including flooring, sealants, coatings, remedial works, as well as adhesives. So the full range of materials are applicable to any number of the stages of a construction project, including bathrooms, residential and commercial towers, remedial works for existing buildings and structures, as well as residential and DIY projects, including gardens, exterior rooftops, balconies, bathrooms. So the range is quite big.
What do you do exactly?
Envirosystems Technologies prides itself on being completely and wholly Australian made and owned. We were founded just over 10 years ago as Waterproofing Technologies and have since expanded to be Envirosystems Technologies based off our mantra, which is environmentally friendly technology. Our products are designed for the Australian environment and the harsh Australian climate for exterior and interior applications.
You still operate from here, from Australia, but how do you manage to be competitive?
A lot of other competitive products have moved their production to areas in Southeast Asia, as well as Central Asia, to reduce costs and to save money. Envirosystems has kept all our production domestically, which is extremely important to ensure that the quality of our products is maintained at a high standard. We are the only company left producing our products in Australia.
Tell me, how important is waterproofing?
Waterproofing, like many of the other facets that we're involved in, is an extremely important stage of the production of a building. With waterproofing, there are two different types of areas in a building. There's a critical and a non-critical waterproof area. So in a lot of buildings, any waterproofing area that is over a habitable space is considered to be critical, and therefore it's imperative that the products that you use are designed to outlast the warranty that they've been applied for. I find that a lot of newer construction buildings are offering shorter and shorter warranties. Basically, this is on the basis that they're using cheaper products to endorse their projects, and as a result, you'll find that a lot of the cheaper products only are guaranteed for 5 years at the most. So a standard construction project these days will only offer maybe a 7-year warranty, and then after that, it's the strata's responsibility to take care of any failures from there on.
If you don't do it right, and in 5 years time or 10 years time you have to redo it, what do you have to do? Do you have to demolish the whole thing?
So
Not really.
Unfortunately, with bathrooms, with something like waterproofing, you can't cut corners. We have a lot of customers come in asking if they can waterproof over an existing bathroom's tiles, which you can't. So you'll find
you have to demolish.
Yeah, you have to pull
everything?
up. Absolutely. So you have to
And
remove.
do it.
Yeah, remove all the existing tile work and then the existing waterproofing and start again.
You have a good quality product that it's made in Australia and it's made for Australian conditions. But how do you know if the tradesmen that they apply the products, they don't cut corners and the quality hasn't been compromised?
We sell wholesale. We also sell directly to retail customers, as well as we operate working with certified applicators as well as contractors. So in a large project such as Barangaroo or a large hospital or a large apartment block where a specified applicator is completing the project, it's important that when using Envirosystems products, we need to do quality assurance checks to make sure that the product's been applied properly. So oftentimes you'll find if a contractor has specified our product, that it would be part of the agreement with that contractor that we would inspect the works to make sure that the product has been applied to the highest quality and to its instructions as per our specifications.
What sort of warranty do you give with your products?
Oftentimes we give a 10-year warranty, no questions asked, and then from there, depending on who the applicator is, as well as the agreement and its application and setting, we could extend that out to 25. We have done 50 before. Something that we also pride ourselves on, our technical team has a combined number of years of experience of 200 years plus. And as a result, we have a very diverse technical team, including chemists, engineers, architects.
You have your own chemists?
Absolutely. So we have a laboratory.
Here in Australia?
Yeah, in St. Peters.
So you have more Australian people working here?
Absolutely. So we have Australian chemists, Australian engineers who work on a daily basis on Q&A as well as R&D. So we are constantly improving and troubleshooting any issues with our products to make sure that the products that we have on the shelves are the latest technology as well as the highest quality. Envirosystems Technologies, one of our key mantras is environmentally responsible technology. Contrary to a lot of our competitors and the construction industry in general, we aim to develop our products so that they offset a lot of the negative environmental impacts of construction. I can actually quote one of our sales operatives when we were tendering for the Fiona Stanley Hospital in Western Australia. He said that our products could be eaten if you wanted to. I can't imagine that it would taste very nice, but
I wouldn't imagine either, yes.
No, but it's true. If you're feeling peckish,
Maybe
by all
put some
means.
nice sauce on it.
Yeah, that's it. A bit of tomato sauce, you'll be fine. You know, it's super important, especially people who are DIY and renovating their own bathrooms. If you've got children around or pets, you can use our products in your bathroom and rest assured that you won't be creating an environment that could be harmful to anyone around.
Do you export any of your products?
We have sold our products overseas. We've worked on projects in Singapore as well as over in New Zealand as well.
So finally, tell me, why should people come and buy your product?
If you come into our store, you'll be able to purchase a product that's of high quality as well as receive personal service from someone who's worked on this product in Australia, in Sydney, that would be able to offer you full technical advice and support as well as any troubleshooting questions you may have.
So after extensive underpinning, we managed to save this part of the house. But remember, good waterproofing, it's very important. Make sure you use Australian products, good quality products like our products, and don't skimp on waterproofing. The most important part of your building, if you are on the first floor up, it's waterproofing. And this is the end of another episode of This is Australia. Don't forget, we broadcast every Monday night at 7:30 on Foxtel's channel 183. And if you want to have a look at these amazing tables that we can make out of these recycled materials or gates for your garden in any color or whatever form you like, raw timber or just painted, with all these beautiful different colors that we can use. Again, we use recycled paints. The paints that usually people throw away, we can reuse them again. There's nothing wrong with them. Most of the times there's nothing wrong. So we can reuse even the old paints. So send us your pictures, send us your information, whatever you have. If you reuse or recycle, we need to know all about your reuse and recycling. So on the number again you see below on your screen, give us a call or email us and we can come and have a look and give you a price for what you need for your tables or your gates. Thank you for watching. See you next week.